1002.
On the next TCM guest programmer,
Rocca.
Call me Maurice. Let's shake it up.
Emmy Award-winning writer, humorist, and CBS Sunday morning correspondent Rocca joins Robert Osborne to share a night of his favorite films.
It is a delight to be here.
Are you basically a movie fan?
Yeah. King Kong kind of burrowed into my head. It's a movie that made me want to move to New York.
What's up, Doc?
I also love Barbara Streisand. So, of course, I love Funny Girl, but this movie is the real Funny Girl.
From 1963, The Birds.
I love the movie. It contains maybe my favorite scene in all of filmdom.
It's the end of the world.
Two Bloody Marys, Deke.
I don't know who won that year for Best Supporting Actor, but Chris Sarandon's performance still holds up.
Well, I didn't ask you to go and rob a bank.
It's totally contemporary.
The TCM guest programmer, coming up next, only on Turner Classic Movies.
TCM brings an exciting experience to both coasts with the TCM Movie Locations Tour of Los Angeles and the TCM Classic Film Tour of New York City. Get behind-the-scene insights on movies filmed in the two cities while viewing the actual locations where the magic took place. Tours feature movie clips, trivia, knowledgeable guides, and video introductions by TCM hosts Robert Osborne.
Let us do the driving.
Or Ben Mankiewicz.
Now sit back and enjoy the show.
For more info and to book your tickets, go to tcm.com/tours.
Hi, I'm Robert Osborne. So glad you're here right now for our TCM's monthly visit with our guest programmer, when we hand over the keys of our kingdom to one of our famous friends who chooses some films that they want to share with us. And joining me now is an Emmy Award-winning writer, a humorist, a correspondent for CBS Sunday Morning, Rocca. Welcome, Mo.
Robert, I'm so happy to be here.
Well,
Thank
we're
you.
thrilled to have you here.
Cool.
You know, CBS Sunday Morning is really essential viewing in my house. It starts the week in a terrific way for me.
Well, I'm glad to hear that.
Anyway, Mo's first choice is one of the great movie hits of the early 1930s. It's King Kong from 1933. Now, are you a sci-fi fan particularly?
No, I am not. And I love King Kong, though. It's I remember watching it, I think on Sunday afternoons probably at my grandmother's apartment when I was little. And it's the kind of movie that I would dream about. It sort of like invaded my sleep. And, you know, I would have dreams about it and forget that I had seen it as a movie first and thought that maybe I'd come up with it. And I'm not sure if that's intentional with all the fog and in the movie, but it kind of looks like a dream.
Right.
I find it, I mean, not to get too personal, I find it really erotic, the relationship between Fay Wray, the Ann Darrow character,
right,
and Kong. I kind of wish they'd ended up together at the end.
Well, who knows? Who knows? Maybe they had a romance between scenes or something like that.
Right, or maybe they fixed him up after the fall.
Yes, exactly. Anyway, well, it is a wonderful movie. I think it's one of those movies, too, that's very hard to tune out of if you ever start watching it. You can't just not watch it.
You can't. I mean, you go into it, and the things I remember as a kid, and I watched it again recently, and they still affected me, is everything seems so large, like those huge doors when they get to the island. And even when they get to New York, that stage, it all just feels so big and looming.
And you know, those doors were the burning of Atlanta in Gone with the Wind.
You serious?
Yeah, they had to burn that set down or get rid of the set because Gone with the Wind was going to be filming. So they decided to, instead of just tearing it down, to burn it down and film that as the burning of Atlanta sequence for Gone with the Wind.
They repurposed the doors.
Absolutely.
Well, I'm glad I came here.
Yes,
I didn't know that.
We're glad you came here, too.
No, that island, it's so magical. It also, it's a movie that made me want to move to New York. The depiction of New York is also very dreamy and exciting. I mean, obviously exciting things happen in New York when you watch this movie.
And where are you originally from?
I'm from Washington, D.C., the suburbs outside of it, Bethesda, Maryland. Maryland is a nice state, but, you know, it was a border state in the Civil War. So, I mean, that's kind of boring, either be in the Union or be in the Confederacy.
Did you spend a lot of time in New York growing up?
I would come to New York on the train, on the Amtrak with my parents. I would beg them to take me to see Broadway shows.
Yeah.
And so seeing the Empire State Building for the first time, I thought of King Kong, scaling it with Fay Wray.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting thing, in 1999, I went to see the Sunshine Boys revival on Broadway with Jack Klugman and Tony Randall, and I sat behind Fay Wray,
Wow.
directly behind her.
Wow.
And she still looked great from behind.
Screaming?
She's
she
got the
screaming
curtain
through the
call.
show?
Well, that's also, she's the original Scream Queen, right?
Yeah,
Don't you
exactly.
think? And that character, Carl Denham, that producer, he is the quintessential Hollywood producer.
Right.
Money, fame, adventure. I mean, when he
Right.
pitches her, I mean,
Yeah.
how could you not go to that island to be groped by
Exactly.
that ape?
Anyway, let's watch the film. Here it is from RKO in 1933, directed by Marion C. Cooper and Ernest B. Schoensack. Here's King Kong.